Greetings, welcome to another exclusive video host, Mpoki Thompson, here in Dar es Salaam. Today's episode is going to be very exciting. We are going to talk about sports, but also sports development. I'm with Ntoudi Mouyelo, the Chief Commercial Officer of betPawa. Ntoudi, welcome to Mwananchi Communications Limited. Welcome to Tanzania.
Thank you very much for hosting me. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Okay. Now, Ntoudi, your company is doing a very exciting job as far as sports development is concerned. Our audience would want to get an overview about betPawa and exactly how you are helping develop sports in Tanzania, sports across Africa.
Okay. So first of all, it is important to understand who betPawa is. betPawa is a leading betting gaming brand in Africa. Today, the brand is in 17 markets, from east to west to south of Africa, and we have a leading position in most of the countries. Because we are leaders in our industry, we took as a principle to reinvest part of our profits into sports.
Okay.
And this is why we have decided to work together with federations, associations, and leagues that have the same vision to create a space for athletes in Africa to excel in their games and to make people and be entertained with sports. So we started with Ghana in 2022, and we are now extending to East Africa and to other markets in West Africa, our sports development initiative.
Okay, so can you explain to us exactly how are you helping sports development in Tanzania specifically?
Okay, so in the specific case of Tanzania, it is actually important to notice that we are starting with basketball. We all know that usually football is the first game, but Tanzania, we have been in discussion with the president of TBF for 2 years now, and he convinced us on the growing interests of Tanzanian people into basketball. And the way we decided to be different, we like to be different, we like to be unique, is to say, instead of just giving those traditional sponsorship, we wanted to make an impact. And the discussion with the federation was, how can we make an impact directly to players?
Yeah.
So what we decided is to develop here in Tanzania something called locker room bonus, which is basically giving a bonus to players when they reach their locker room after winning a game.
Okay.
So this is what has been implemented now here in Tanzania.
Okay, so the locker room bonus has been implemented in other countries.
Yes.
Well, can you tell us about what are some of the positive impacts that you have seen in those countries, how it has enabled the players to develop, and what are your expectations now that you're implementing the locker room bonus practice in the Tanzania setting?
Okay. So locker room bonus is possible first because we have a strong, willing federation. The third development that we are bringing to sports in Africa is actually to support leagues and federations to be better organized and to be more professional. In order for the local room bonus initiative to be implemented, there are a set of conditions that we need from the federation. So that's our first impact.
Right.
If you look at markets where we have already implemented the same initiative, something that cross all of them, games are happening as per the schedule.
So it improves efficiency.
Efficiency on how the games are being organized. That's one. Second, you will see that now with digital world, with the media, it's easy to follow the games and to know what are the results. Everywhere we are offering the locker room bonus, I can tell you, within 5 minutes after the game, we have the official results being given to us. That's an improvement. The third improvement, of course, is now when you look at the players. The players are the first one benefiting from the locker room bonus sponsorship. And what we see is better competition. What we see is players that are on the field, in the court, sweating to be sure to win the bonus. They're winning the bonus for themselves, but they're also winning the bonus for their families and their communities. So what I will invite you to do after this interview, go online and check the testimonial of all those players. Today I can tell you that since we have started, close to 1,000 athletes across Africa have benefited from the local room bonus. Okay? And this is what we want to replicate here in Tanzania.
So maybe just to contextualize this and give us more information. How does this work? It's a basketball team. It goes into a game. Are the results a determining factor in how the locker room bonus works? Do they have to win, or how does it work for a player to get this bonus, to get it to be rewarded?
So the mechanic is quite simple. You play for a team. We will ask you to be onboarded into our system. Again, it is all digital. We got your phone number, we got your biometrics, and we can easily verify who you are, right? Just before the game, we will receive the squad list. We have the squad list, and we see your name in the squad list. You play, you compete, you win. After the game, we receive the result of the game. Your team won. We have the squad list and you have your name. Before the game, we onboarded you in our system. So now we are going to proceed to a direct payment from our account to your mobile money account that you have registered with us. So from the time you are leaving the court, the basketball court, and you are reaching the locker room, you will take your phone and you will just discover that you have been credited by the amount set for the locker room. In Tanzania, I'm very happy to say it is the largest amount per player that you are giving through the locker room bonus.
Okay.
And the amount for every single player of a team is set at 100,040 shilling. Here, there is no other per player, every single player of the game. Huh? There is no other competition as of today where we are giving such an amount to one single player. So here it means you have a squad list of 16, 12 players, 4 officials. All of them are receiving the locker room bonus.
Interesting. So I'm now speaking from a sports perspective, because I do follow sports quite a bit. I understand a certain team, particular team, or multiple teams might have those key talent players, but then we also know that injuries are part of the sports. So how do you approach such a realistic scenario where you're cognizant of the fact that players do go into, prolonged period of injuries? Is there any mitigating approach? Because now one of the requirements is that they have to be part of the squad. That means they have to play. So what about those who get injured? Is there any consideration that can be made?
Okay. It's a very important point that you are raising here. And myself, I've been an athlete. I've been competing. As I said, we have set rules that the federation has to follow. For us, the next step is also to go to the team and see to what extent we can leverage on them to better protect the players. A very easy condition that we may put in the future is to make sure that all players have an insurance from their respective team. Again, we have to understand that each of the stakeholders have a role to play.
Yeah.
Our role is not to pay salaries. Our role is not to insure players. But our role is to support the development of sports infrastructure. And this includes the way the stakeholders are playing their role. So I'm telling you today, within the next edition of the locker room bonus, there will be a condition for the teams to also protect their players through that insurance.
Okay. Now, since this initiative also has required you to work with, the Tanzania Basketball Federation, an extension to the government as well through the Ministry of Sports. Now, what is your key message to the government to ensure that this project, this initiative works, is sustainable? What is quite critical from a supporting perspective from the government? What is that, or are those critical things that need to be in place for this to be a success story?
For the locker room bonus to be a success story, with the support of the government, is one, to empower the federation and the leagues to play their role in Tanzania, is to make sure that when the federation goes to a team and say, I need to have the squad list 48 hours before the game, it has to be executed by the team. So it is that role that we want to see. We want to see the government now to that, if you go further, to invite other federations to look at what TBF has been doing with us and to invite them to come to betPawa and assess how we could implement the same local bonus in their competition. Because let's be honest, what we want is to impact as many players as possible.
Yeah.
But for that to happen, we need the federation to accept the model of the local bonus. And believe it or not, is not easy. It is not easy for a federation to accept that the sponsorship amount is going first to the players and not to them. So if the government can help us convince other federations, you will see more athletes in Tanzania receiving the local bonus.
Okay. So, out there in the market, and even when you read the news, oftentimes betting and sports are put together. The perception is not always positive. There are different, diverse views, diverse approaches to how one interprets the role of betting companies in sports development. Can you tell us or give us a profound analysis of the work that you're doing and how it is helping responsible betting, how it is developing sports in Tanzania and sports in Africa?
Okay. Let's take one step back. Here we are talking about an industry which is self-sustainable, an industry not asking anything to the government, an industry willing and committed to reinvest part of its profit into sports. Look at all major football, let's say football for example, football competition across the world. You will see that in all of them, within the top 10 teams competing, they will be sponsored by a betting company. It means that we are putting money into those teams for them to have the players that we can enjoy watching every weekend.
Yeah.
Okay? So I don't think that the negative perception is coming from what the betting companies are giving into the sports as sponsorship.
And
this is, I think, positive.
yeah, word was done.
The issue that we have is not on betting company. The issue is on match fixing. But you know who is the best advocate to fight match fixing? Betting platforms. And I will give you an example without giving any names.
No.
A few months ago, in our platform, read the different controls that are in place, we receive an alarm from the system telling us that a particular game was receiving too much deposit. People betting in one particular game, an exact score. 3-1. It's not a win, an exact score of 3-1.
No.
The alarm was given and we decided to stop taking bets on that game 3 hours before the game. Okay? Even by doing it after the game, the result was 3-1. Okay?
Interesting.
Over 90%, close to 95% of people that bet that day were winners, which means the game was fixed.
Yeah.
What we did, we called the federation and we said, you have a problem with that game.
Yeah.
Federation said, no. It's not true, it's not possible. We stopped giving the games of that competition into our platform. Okay? Actually, every competition, football, on our platform, there is a rule saying that we have to give the message or the notice every time we see something unusual happening.
Yeah.
So the best way to fight match fixing, that negative perception around betting, is through betting platform.
Big.
Now, maybe the negative perception you are alluding to is more on addiction.
Yes.
Because people like to bet.
Yep.
Okay?
It is an addiction at times.
Again, what is the best way to fight addiction? There are many ways. But the first thing is to limit betting platform only to those that play by the rules. The first thing that the authorities should be doing, and I know they're doing it, is to make sure that only compliant, regulated, licensed operators are in the market. Because what does it mean? It means that me as a betting platform, I can only do what the authorities is letting me do.
Yeah.
Right? That's the first protection that we should give to the retail people. We are following the policies of the government. One thing that we are doing, for example, is how to make sure that someone addicted can cancel his account with us. We have these type of features. At any point in time, because you know you are weak, you can press the button and say, please don't let me bet anymore. It will be implemented.
Then has that ever happened? Like
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, it happens quite often.
Quite often.
Yes, and we have a reporting on that.
Okay.
But really,
But does that impact your business now? If you have a lot of people who are choosing not to continue, using the platform.
so what is impacting the business? Is it people going out there and saying, I lost all my money, never bet again? Or people saying, I win, and when I played too much, I was able to stop?
Okay.
We prefer the latter.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay?
Yeah.
But you are going beyond that. We want to make sure that there is support now when you are facing troubles. And what do? We have invested in a call center. Different from the call center when you have problems to bet. It is a call center to support players that are facing addiction or players that need to find advice. That call center is not a betPawa platform.
Okay.
We have invested with NGOs that are specialists for them to advise those that are in need. And this is part of our response to responsible gaming. There are more that we are doing, but I just wanted to share with you how serious we take these issues.
Yeah, but then again, also betting requires one to be of the age of the majority, which is 18 and above. And as you say, your platform is based on digital kind of setting. How do you now validate or ensure that the person who's using the platform is actually an adult? Like, what are some of the mechanisms? Because when you talk of addiction, it starts from a very young age. We find like the 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, so long as they understand the concept of betting and they have access to digital gadgets and also how to use them, it's easy for them now to jump on the platform. So what are some of the mechanisms that you've put in place?
Okay. So let's dream, you and I, that we are in the ideal world. Okay? Anyone can have a phone, right? There is no limitation on age to get a phone.
Yeah.
Everyone can have a phone number as well. But tell me, do you have kids?
Not.
No. Let's say if you have a kid of 6 years old or 10 or 12, is that kid allowed to have a mobile money account? No, answer.
Yeah, as in future saving. Yeah, it could make sense from a perspective.
Sorry, let me repeat the question. Are you allowed to have a mobile money account if you are underage?
No.
You are not?
Not.
Okay. Do you know that we do only accept transactions through mobile money?
Okay.
Okay. In order to have an account with us,
True.
the first condition is to have a mobile money number. Okay? So if someone is underage, it means that the first control that should be at the level of the telco, and I don't want to just push the hurdle to them, but they are the first control.
Yeah.
Okay? Of course, the second control is us. When we onboard them, we check that they have this mobile money account and we check who they are. So for us, that issue of underage people should be addressed as early as possible in the process. And this starts with the mobile money operator. We do not accept any betting coming outside mobile money.
Okay.
Second point, I know it is easy to play, but when you win, especially a certain amount, we will invite you to come to our office. We will check who you are. Okay? Okay, send your father, send your mother. Okay? But we take it seriously. That's why compliance and the digital is actually supporting us.
So you use mobile operators to channel your transactions. Now that contributes to the digital economy. As I mentioned, annually, the government through the gaming board receives over hundreds of billions of Tanzanian shillings through gambling and all these betting companies. Can you give us your foresight? How do you see betting companies and specifically the strategy that you are taking helping the digital economy of Tanzania, of Africa, of East Africa moving forward? What is that critical role that you are playing in this specific setting?
Okay. You know, our first contribution to the digital economy is the fact that in the majority of markets where we operate, we are in the top 10, maybe even top 5, even sometimes top 2 contributor to mobile money transaction. So for someone to go and take a mobile money number, you need to have a reason. I can have a mobile money for payment, but you will be surprised to know the number of people that have a mobile money account now because it is the only way for them to bet. Okay? And of course, we are helping the telcos to promote mobile money accounts for other use by them starting with betting. If I project myself into the digital economy, because people are betting through mobile money, because they are winners and they are winning through mobile money. By the way, betPawa is called home of winners. Okay?
Yeah.
We want this capital that we have been able to attract through mobile money to stay digital. So the way I see the future is more and more investments and saving products being developed with the support of betting companies for people to keep their money into the digital space. And this, I can tell you, is actually already happening.
Okay. So as we're wrapping up, what do you see is the future of betPawa in Tanzania? You've now partnered with the Basketball Federation. What does the future hold for your business here?
As I said before, please, Ministry of Sports, please, TBF, help us voice out the locker room bonus to more federations and competition in Tanzania. I would love to come back to you in a few months in 2025 and say, we have now signed in football. That's what we would like to see. But we want to extend our investment into sport in Tanzania beyond the local room bonus. Maybe too early to disclose what we'll be doing, but clearly basketball is only a start, and we want again to thank TBF to come along with us into that journey.
Well, Mr. Ntoudi, on that note, thank you for coming.
Thank you for your questions.
Okay, that is a wrap for today's episode. You were with me and Pocket Thompson. Until next time, bye-bye.